Welcome to another video at Yorkshire Chef. Today I'm going to show you how to make a castle cake, and it's a cake in shape of a castle, and basically how to save a few quid while you're doing it. So let's get on with it. Cake I made earlier, I've already made this one, and I've used grey food colouring, black food colouring with this, in a simple cake mix. And another tip to save money, so you don't have to spend a fortune on cake tins, is to use a frying pan. Basically, you take the handle off the frying pan, put your mixture in frying pan, put your mixture in pan, and it saves you buying a cake tin. What you basically need for this project is you need 4 baked bean tins like this, and top's been taken off and so has the bottom. And you don't need to spend a fortune on cake moulds for this, just use 4 bean tins. And this is how it came out of the oven, and basically it looks a bit like your granny's worst sofa cushion. So what we need to do is want to get this stoned effect, and when it comes out of the oven it's got a sort of a crust on it, so we want to get rid of that. So we've got our stoned effects, and you just, if you can see that on camera, just lightly slice all of this crust off. And I use currants for this cake, and it's just a basic mixture with black food colouring. And whenever you use black food colouring with a cake, it automatically turns grey. So just do that, just slice it off, and what we're getting there is we're getting a sort of a gnarly, stoned effect like you'd see on a castle. Once you've done that, taken all crust off, you get sort of like what resembles a stone block of granite, but believe me, we're going to make something special out of that later on. And it's the simplest thing in the world to make a cake, but you don't always have to weigh your ingredients. Making a cake's the easiest thing in the world. Let's get camera on a different angle. All you do is add as much flour to the size of cake that you want. So that's as big as cake's gonna be that we need, and the recipe would probably say about 100 grams of sugar. It'd probably say about 100 grams of sugar. But the reason we add sugar to a cake is to tone sweetness up, and it depends how sweet you want your cake as to the ratio of the amount of sugar you want. So you just pour that over the top. It's a bit too much, and just mix that in. Just mix it in, and we're going to add a bit of ginger flavour into this, and also we're going to use mixed spice. You don't want to use a lot because it's fairly strong stuff. about half a teaspoon to a teaspoonful of this, because it's strong stuff. Plus about half a teaspoon of ginger should do that nicely. Half a teaspoon of ginger. And just mix that in. This other one I did, I used exactly the same recipe for base cake. Get that mixed in. Next you want to add, I'm not using eggs. I never use eggs when I make a cake because I'm not too keen on them basically. They don't really do much for it. Next you want your milk, and to start with I go for about half a cup of milk to start with. Then you want to add your black food colouring to your milk. A few drops of black food colouring. Probably come back to that later. Whirl it round and it comes out as a grey mixture, which is what you want, and just pour that in. It's done usual way, just fold it in. Made your cake mix. Next thing you want to do is pour your mixture into your improvised cake moulds. So just spoon that into these 4 cake moulds. After you've put your cake mixture in your moulds, what you want to do is, as you can see it's running out of bottom there, so to prevent that we put an heavy object on, in this case a wrench and an impact screwdriver. Just balance that on there. Then you put it in oven for about 1.5 hours on gas mark 4. And I'll just wrap these objects over in tin foil for when it seeps out. An hour and a half later, and this is what happens when you put cake mix into 4 bean tins. It's overflowed a bit. I haven't managed to stop it overflowing, and it doesn't look very appetising or indeed castle-like at the moment. So we'll rescue these from bean tins and see what we've got. Hindsight, what I should have really done is greased these tins because they're somewhat stuck inside, so if you're doing this yourself, you're best off greasing these tins before you put your cake mix in. And as you can see, there's one I did earlier. There's one I mounted earlier just to work out method of doing it, and it's a fairly straightforward method for mounting these things. And push that gently out. Doesn't look very appetising at the moment, but once you see overall effects, it should turn out quite well. Just push it out at 10. And there you get your turret. You've got your turret, freestanding turret. And what you need to do next is carve a niche out. Just tight camera focus here. What you need to do next is carve a niche out in top of your cake for your turret to balance on. It's a bit of a waste of food actually, just doing it this way, but you could also rest a plate of scraps or something. It's a bit like playing at sandcastles when you were a kid. And you need to make a well here just to support it. It's a bit like underpinning an house. You've got to make a bit of a well there for support. And just put your piece in. And there's a bit hanging over the edge. And all you need to do is just cram that in like that. Just use it as putty or cement if you will, if you like. And just put that in with your fingers. And hopefully that should stand, but if you want to really reinforce it, what you could do is use icing. Ready rolled icing is best because it's a fairly substantial. I'll just give you a bit of a panoramic view of that. And there's 2 turrets on our castle. As you can see, it's not a spectacular castle at the moment, but once we get all 4 on, we'll see how we go. So with 4 turrets on, and this is what we've got. Our castle cake. Now then, I'm going to decorate this because it's, looking at it from my viewpoint, it's not 100% appetising, so what I'm going to do is decorate it and just give you an example of what can be done with this. The castle cake, suitable for any party. As you can see, I've decorated it in Smarties, and I put some flags on top, and you might wonder why I've used Australian flags, considering there's no castles in Australia. Well, this project is about using whatever comes to hand, and we're just knocking about basically. And there you have it, castle cake. Of course you can have it any colour you want, and it looks a bit like a sandcastle at the end of the day, but it is quite edible. And thanks for watching.